Alabama Shakes was your first group. Can you talk about the formation of that?
Yeah. So I was in high school and I had been looking for people to play with, and I had seen a couple of guys in my school that were interested in music, playing music, and they were like dedicated to it. And so I really wanted to meet them. I was trying to figure out, so I'm younger than them. And me being me, I was like, why would they want to talk to me? Like, I'm younger than them. I look different than them. We don't travel in the same groups. I don't know how I'm going to have my end. So I went and made a little demo, like by myself. And I
Hmm.
used to use like Audacity. So it's like super easy to record with, sounded terrible back in the day. And so I brought him a CD and I was like, hey, this is to Zach, bass player, who later
Hmm.
became the bass player of Alabama Shakes. I was like, hey, I made this music. I don't know. I just wonder if you ever want to come like jam with me sometime, play music with me sometime. He was like, yeah, let's go listen to it. So we go to the parking lot of the high school, sit in his Honda Accord, and he plays it. And he's like, oh, this is cool. He's like, yeah, I'd like to come over and play. So that's about when I was like 15, 16. And me and Zach started playing every day. And we were learning how to play like at the time it was like prog rock. So we're like doing Yes and
Oh wow.
uh King Crimson. We're like learning that kind of stuff. This is new to me, but I'm
Hmm.
fascinated by it because it's all really technically difficult stuff. And we started writing together. And then we made a demo. And Heath, who later became a guitar player for the Shakes, heard that and was like, I want y'all to open, like, can y'all open for my band? And I was like, man, we don't even got a band. It's just like us. So we went down to the music store, and the best drummer in town worked at the music store. We only had one music store in town.
Hmm.
Hey, man, you want to come play with us? He's like, oh, I don't know. We show him our demo. He's like, I'll check it out. I'll come by. I'll see what y'all are about. So then we start playing together. And then we opened up for Heath's group. And honestly, that's like what did it. The first time we played together, we knew that we had something. And so we started then working on our own material. And that later became the Alabama Shakes, the four of us.
Okay. I got hip to you guys via Jack White was
Yeah.
pretty much like screaming from the mountaintops about you guys and whatnot. Um, for you, uh, did you have any expectations of where this journey was going to take you? You guys came out of nowhere, but I'm certain that it took a lot of work and a lot of crafting before you got the record deal. Like, how long was it before you started the band until you got your record deal?
That's a good question. I'm trying, from the time we started the band, which I'm saying we started the band when I probably had just graduated high school, 2007.
Hmm.
I'd say like that's really when we started playing our own shows with our own music. And then I feel like whenever Boys and Girls came out was like
It was
2012
like
or something like that.
2011. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it wasn't that long, but we played all the time and we played for no money. And all we did was get together Tuesdays and Thursdays and write new music, write new music, write new music, work on the set, work on the set. Um, and to me, it was like miraculous that anything happened at all. Because
Hmm.
at a certain point, I just like accepted that I was going to be a mail carrier. I was going to deliver mail, and I would play music on the side, and that was going to be my life. I was okay with that.
Let me ask, because I'm curious about band dynamics, like anyone being a band or a unit in, post millennial times, it's almost like it's like aliens landing because pretty much life is built for the solo artist post aughts, post 2000. Um, when the band is forming, um, is there a general agreement like of who the leader is, or is it like a thing where it's like, okay, it's democracy and we all have a say, or like how do you handle band uh decisions and whatnot? Like Fonte, of course, comes from a rap group. I come from the roots, and I like to pretend like it's a democracy or whatever. But like, how do you deal with those dynamics?
For us, it was a democracy. Um, that's we honestly communicated a lot why or why not we shouldn't do something.
Right.
And the better you were at just talking about your feelings, usually the more
What's that?
the, the more it would go your way because the better you were at communicating why you didn't want to do this.
Mm.
It was almost like in a court of law, but it came from an emotional place. I really don't want to do this because XYZ, this is cheesy, this is that, this is yeah. You know, if you were quieter, you didn't get as much of your way because it's like nobody's hearing what you have to say. But we would all sit down and talk, you know.
Okay. Um, I would assume that the reception of boys and girls was not overwhelming, but it was definitely, to come out the gate. And I'm speaking as a person that took 4 attempts to finally come out the gate. What is it like on your debut to come out the gate and instantly
Home
become
run. Yeah.
critical darlings? And what is that feeling?
Surreal. So absolutely surreal.
Can you describe like the first moment when you realize like, oh shit, we're really going to be a thing?
Yeah, I do. I do remember it. It popped in my head as soon as you said it. I remember it was in Nashville. We're on Broadway. And there's like the secret club. I don't know. I don't know anything about that life. We had just got through playing the Blue Room with Jack White. Jack White invited us to play his Third Man Records. And I was excited to meet Jack White because I loved the White Stripes. And then the Kings of Leon is there. And I, at the time, like I had like the first 2 records, loved Kings of Leon. And they're coming up to me and they're like, oh, I think you're gonna make it. Like all this stuff,
Right.
And I'm like, these guys are telling me I'm gonna make it. And so I remember going to the secret little bar after the show, and it was kind of fancy. I'd never been in that environment before. And I remember there's a balcony outside, and it was me and the drummer Steve. And I go out there and Steve was crying. And I looked at him, I was like, why are you crying, Steve? He was like, I really think we're gonna do something. And I was like, damn, you think so? And then I started crying, and we just out there just like, having this emotional moment. That's like, I can't believe this is happening to us. It was just all of our circumstances. It was just like such a miracle happening in our lives. It was just like, it's like Superman came in to save you.
Right when you needed it, huh?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, it's like right on
so much of my
time.
life at the poverty line. And now I had an opportunity for the first time ever.